Xbox lost to Sony, and no one cares because consoles are trash. But the funny part is, all Xbox honestly needed to do was hold on a little bit more, and Sony would start its complete self-implosion voification process where they do absolutely every wrong decision in the span of, well, months and completely destroy their hopes for a bright future because they piss everyone off. It's hilarious. Again, there's no such thing as winning with consoles. Consoles suck.
They're old games competing with their new games, and like Sony, when your brand is built off those old games having amazingly strong IP, well, you end up losing a lot of money because your average sale price plummets. And today's story is Sony's attempt to fix that problem. You see, while headlines of scalpers buying up PS5
Average sale price plummets cannot be used in the context that he's using. He's trying to say that your total net sales are going down because your old games are competing with the new ones and the new ones are competing with other new ones. But that doesn't actually reduce the price per unit sold. So Belair, please do better. You're supposed to be British, posh, and all of that. Oh no, wait. He's not British. He's Irish. Yeah, he's probably already drunk, and it's only 11 a.m.
anniversary editions were dominating. Something else happened.
Well, 11 p.m., sorry.
That very few noticed. See, the State of Play announced Horizon Zero Dawn Remastered, and when I reported it, I tried to save you some money. What you'd do, right, is you'd buy the original complete edition.
The word on the block is that Horizon Zero Dawn has a non-male looking, non-ugly, non-beard needing to trim Aloy. Now, how true that is, don't know. But knowing Sony, they might as well change it to even a more manly, muscular Aloy in the future, like they have already done, which is disgusting. Go look at the history of Aloy. They literally went in the engine and changed Aloy to be more manly because the first iteration of her was too hot. Disgusting.
Of the game, and then you'd hand over your $10 whenever the remaster comes out, so you end up paying less. The bad news is that Sony were onto us. The good news, well, I'm onto them, and I've got backup from today's sponsor, which is dead handy and an absolute lifesaver.
Do we care about today's sponsor? No, it's probably really bad, and it makes you feel bad. Wait, why is the loading taking so long? Well, who knows, but anyway, whoever the sponsor is, remember, my voice is 100% up for sale. I will literally say anything for the right amount of money.
First, the PS5 shenanigans. Sony doubled the price of Horizon Zero Dawn Complete Edition. Yep, 2x. It is now $39.99. It used to be $19.99. Of course, if you add in the $10 upgrade price, and you get $49.99, which is the remaster's RRP. And it is a bad look. Zero Dawn Complete Edition was part of the PlayStation Hits collection, and every other game in that collection currently retails $19.99. And to make things feel worse, none of this was talked about publicly in any way. You just would go
Obviously. Wow. That sounds like a bad idea for Sony.
onto the store and find that that's what the game would cost, and you wouldn't really know any better. What they did here is abundantly clear. It is an artificial price hike. It's just them trying to collect more money. And the thing is, it could actually get them in some trouble. You see, recently Sony stopped selling digital games in retail stores. You can no longer buy game codes. The only place to get a digital PS5 game is the Sony store. And when this happened, regulators in the United Kingdom were actually suspicious. They thought that this could be getting in a monopolistic direction, so I have to wonder how they feel about this. Sony using their complete control over the sales of Zero Dawn digitally to artificially hike the price. Because the fair market value per Sony of this game was $19.99, along with everything else in the PlayStation Hits collection. And if the upgrade is worth $10, which is what they charge for it, then surely the fair value of the new version of the game is $29.99. Of course, it's not. That's why the price increase here, with the original Complete Edition, feels a little bit artificial.
I get what you're saying, and honestly, yeah, only the UK would probably unironically look into this because British, yeah? Give me a pint of what? Chief? God, I hate British and Germans and Swedish.
Thing
And Italians, French. Oh, don't get even started on all of that stuff.
is, this is far from the only strange
And definitely Americans. Like, you're not... You literally have a walking corpse currently in office, okay? You're the worst, probably.
thing that's happened. Next, we gotta take a look at PC. Well, the good news is us PC gamers have not missed out on the fun, and it's actually more aggressive here. You literally cannot buy Horizon Zero Dawn on Steam, Epic.
Wait. Is this the new one? I can't tell. Because the face still looks spongy and way too round and way too big, but I'm not seeing the facial hair. The hell are we looking at here?
You literally cannot buy Horizon Zero Dawn on Steam, Epic, or standalone. There is only one way you can buy it, and that is the new Horizon Zero Dawn Remastered Bundle. Yeah, that's the only way. That, of course, does include the current Complete Edition and the remaster, and it costs $49.99. Now, there are still cases where you can buy the original Complete Edition because those game keys exist. Sony can't just go and delete all of the game keys that are being sold in other places like, say, GOG, but all of this reveals exactly how they think and their aggressive approach to pricing. Of course, they know their games have got strong long-tail sales, so remakes and remasters can keep the average sale price high for longer and longer. But of course, on PC, it is just a little bit spicier. 170 countries just lost the official ability to play this game because all PlayStation games on PC will have the PSN element for linking your PS
Lame, boring, and everyone hates this.
account to get trophies, friends lists, and that sort of thing. The PS blog confirmed this, and it does mean that people in the 170 countries are left out. And even worse, they kind of won't be able to get it at all, because the original Complete Edition doesn't exist. It's only in the remaster. Now, yeah, there is the saving grace where game keys for the original exist. You can buy those on GOG or others, but at its core, we're seeing how PlayStation intends to bring the PlayStation model done on the PlayStation Digital Store over to PC and to have the level of price control that they are used to having. And it's from here that their strategy begins to become clear. To check in with other games, Helldivers 2 took a beating for PSN, but it's now recovered. It's got recent reviews at 81%, and the latest patch has actually led to a higher baseline in players. Ragnarok got slammed for PSN launch, but it's recovered.
Oh, Ragnarok. Dude, by the way, do you think at some point it's gonna be a situation where, like, Kratos says, you know what, kid, you're kind of a loser pussy, and I'm doing a DNA test. Yeah, you're not my kid. Do you think that's gonna be a moment and then there's some strong, powerful black woman that don't need no man telling Kratos, you need to take responsibility? The god of war, Ragnarok. I am the black goddess of Norse mythology. It's so pathetic.
It's at 77% now. A modder even made a mod, a tool, to circumvent PSN, and it surged so quickly in popularity that he took it down because...
Bro, I can't wait, by the way, for the next God of War game where you have a quick time event where you need to make it so a woman hits you in the balls because reasons. Man, remember the old God of Wars where you had literal abandon your child quick time events? Now that was fire, okay? Now that was the manliest thing ever. Now you're gonna be hit in the balls by a woman. Oh, it's definitely something, you know?
He was afraid of retribution from PlayStation. But of course, check in with the graph and you can see negative reviews are slowing faster than the positives are rising. So that does mean it's getting more and more positive.
The fact that there's so many negative reviews already means that something bad is happening in next game. Probably that bad is going to be exponentially worse.
And then Ghost of Tsushima, well, it's at 92%. That is barely a dent, and that's a game that needed PSN for multiplayer that released when the whole story was exploding. Now, all of this shows something.
This shows everything that every single normal person already know. It's the fact that if a game is good enough, then yeah, we're gonna make a PSN account and forget about its login credentials later on. But we're gonna do it, okay? If a game is good enough, yes. But if you want me to for no reason just register that now, then we riot.
Tips us off to their real strategy. So let's understand what PlayStation are actually doing. A lot of enthusiasts are pretty angry at PlayStation. It could be the things I'm talking about today, or it could just be not as many of the Japan-feeling games that they used to have in the past. Those are the people who, of course, will be loving Astro right now. But no, their entire plan is to hit far beyond the immediate enthusiast audience. That audience does not matter. That's why we've not seen them yield in PSN and PC. The thing is, they feel like they have to. Their games are so expensive that they need to hit near 10 million sales for one of their big titles to even be worth making. The Insomniac League made this abundantly clear. Spider-Man 2 needed to sell 7.2 million copies at full price in order to break even. At full price. That's a game that's been out for almost a calendar year, and since then, it's been on sale just 2 times. And there is in fact a sale on right now, but it's a tricky one. It is a sale, you can get it cheaper, but the only thing on sale is the Digital Deluxe Edition.
By the way, since Billier's bad at finance and stuff, you know what this actually symbolizes? The fact that they require a game to actually make back the money that was put into its development. It symbolizes one pretty brutal thing. It's the fact, which is, by the way, super good for us consumers, it is the fact that these companies like PlayStation and Xbox are understanding one thing, that they cannot rely on games to be just tools to push you into buying a subscription-based model service or something like that. That shit ain't gonna slide. That model does not work. Which means that games need to actually sell an X value to make up for the money that was spent on them at the bare minimum, because otherwise the whole venture is not going to make money. And that is good for us, the consumers, because that means that less shitty games are going to be made, because they can't afford to take that many risks, because the subscription-based model is clearly not working out and panning out. Otherwise, they would never need Spider-Man to actually, break even in its price versus budgetary question. Jeez, that was a bad sentence. Whatever, you get the point. It's really good for us because less slop on the market.
It's 28% off, $57.99 in the UK, so it is cheaper than the regular edition, but it still is pretty damn high. That's another part of their strategy. Do a sale, but only on the Digital Deluxe Edition, so they don't have to decrease the price all that much. Even take Ragnarok. Ragnarok released summer 2022, it's had 8 sales on PSN, and its deepest has only been down to $39.99, which is still a pretty hefty percentage of the original sale price. Now, their current strategy is to expand via film and television. It's a major thing. Herman Hulst has talked about it, and it worked incredibly well for The Last of Us. And if things had went right, it would be working.
Oh god, no, it did not work incredibly well for The Last of Us. People hated The Last of Us show. Only The Last of Us superfans cared about The Last of Us show. It was trash, okay? It was not lightning in a bottle, it was nothing. And I absolutely hated The Last of Us TV show. You had the full-on gay episode that literally ended up promoting suicide as a cutesy thing, which is disgusting by itself, obviously. And then, the fact that the child actress for the girl looked like that she's gonna just, get on all fours and start shoving dirt in her mouth because she's retarded, it made it so much more painful. I can't. It's just the worst show ever.
For the Horizon television show that would be further along than it is right now. Basically, the director for that got fired this June, so they're undoubtedly pretty...
Oh, that's good. Oh, look at that. That's ugly. What the fuck?
Be pissed off about that, but still, the strategy hasn't changed. And it reminds me of CD Projekt Red. They had a bit of a problem. The Witcher TV show, even though it's extremely mid, has Henry Cavill. It blew up
the show was bad, not mid.
interest, and when it did...
And Henry Cavill was the only reason that show was even remotely successful. Then they fired him, celebrated about the fact that they fired him, because finally they don't have to stick to the source material, and then they killed themselves off in a matter of literal days.
Witcher 3 sales surged, but the game only cost a few quid, so they didn't really make as much money as they could have. So what I decided to do was look at the price history of Sony's most recent analog, which of course is The Last of Us. The Last of Us Part 2's deepest sale was down to $9.99 USD as recent as April 2023. And if you're a show viewer right at the end of Season 1, that would have been awesome. Soon after though, Last of Us Part 2 Remaster dropped. When it did, Part 2 went back to its default price of $39.99 and its sales only went down to $29.99, all while Part 2 Remaster was sitting happy at $49.99, with its deepest discount being $39.99. And that means that...
Yeah, people probably enjoyed She-Hulk. Oh god, please just delete this from cognitive memory.
Other than the base product RRP, this is exactly the pricing model that they are doing with Horizon. And that probably means they've got data to support this pricing model working. And while if you want, you can go and buy The Last of Us Remastered, the PS4 near launch title, for $19.99, which of course is what it is in the PlayStation Hits collection. The whole point of their full remake is that the full remake, The Last of Us Part 1, sells for $69.99 right now, which is more than Part 2, and even on sale, the Part 1 remake is $39.99. Now,
well, of course, Part 1 is going to be more expensive than Part 2, because people who don't even know about The Last of Us kind of have this ingrained memory seeping through the chaotic maelstrom into their sanity, telling them that The Last of Us Part 2 should not be touched, played, or talked about.
The reason why I went through all of this is because business has got many different facets. Now, obviously, we are customers. We buy games. That's the bit that we care about. And in so many cases, we're used to buying games on Steam. Steam is one single marketplace, and it's an absolutely ginormous one with so many games. And that...
By the way that Bellier is talking about the situation of these price gouges, extended edition cuts, all of these sales and whatnot, he's talking about them that there's a lot of thought put in when the sales happen. No, it's not. Trust me. Not a single one of these sales is like methodically thought out through for a month or anything, so they figure out when it's the best or whatever. No, nothing like that. Trust me, these decisions we get made pretty arbitrarily and pretty much single-handedly by some people, and there's not a lot of thought put into it when there is a sale most of the time. Most thought that has probably ever been put into when to make a sale was when the Fallout TV show was an unexpected hit with the normies and people started playing more Fallout games. That's it. That's the only thing that they actually probably put thought into. That's it.
Means that if you want to get visibility, you gotta hit the sales button. So we're used to sales happening way faster and way deeper than is normal on some other platforms. It's basically a race to the bottom. Sony, though, do not do that. As you can see today, they diligently work to keep their average sale price high. And there's another company who does it a lot more than Sony do, and that company is Nintendo. Nintendo are so confident that their games are so damn good and so damn unique that they just don't do deep sales at all. Now, obviously, a retailer can do whatever they want, but look at the eShop pricing. Tears of the Kingdom is $69.99. It has never been on sale in the eShop. It's always been that price. They've only discounted Super Mario Odyssey 5 times in the eShop since 2021, and even then, that's only been from its current price of $59.99. Yeah, no default decrease in sale price, from $59.99 to $39.99. And then there's Smash Ultimate. It came out in 2018. It has shifted over 30 million copies, and on the eShop, it has never been.
By the way, this is crazy because this is not random. The fact that they don't do discounts is not random. Either this is some kind of strange thing that they don't want to do because they have some kind of strange belief that they have no proof for, or their sales data is absolutely insane, which I don't know if that's true or not because I have never even considered looking into this. But, you get the kind of point. This is kind of wild because there are 3 groups of people when you sell any product. The ones that are going to buy it at default price, the ones that are going to buy it at 20% off, and the ones that are going to buy it 50% off and whatnot. You want to start with the highest price possible, and there is one simple reason why you always want to do that. Because through discounts, you're going to hit all of these major 3 groups of people to make them buy your game. Because some people are literally not going to buy your game if it's $50 sheerly out of principle, right? So they're going to wait for a discount. And they don't care how good the game is, how much the hype is, they're just going to not buy it because it's way too much to pay for a game. And the only way you get these people is by making a discount. And the fact that Nintendo doesn't do this, kind of crazy. Kind of fucking crazy.
Being discounted. Never.
And I have a serious suspicion that this is not backed up by some kind of sales data, that it's bad for them to do it, or it's a long-term loss or something like that. I think it's just literally some form of, yeah, we're not gonna do this because this is our just inner policy because we don't want to do it.
Conventional wisdom says that old games are less valuable. Nintendo disagrees, and they still sell millions of copies of their games. This is exactly what Sony wants, but it perhaps might even be more than what they want. It may also be what they need, because their games are so stupidly expensive. Just think of the Spider-Man example. So it's no wonder then that Sony's PS5 Pro has no disc drive. They want digital because that gives them full price control, and if you do buy physical, you will need to buy their upcharged $79.99 disc drive. They are just trying to play a different game to the rest, and this makes it clear. The Insomniac leak tells us that Spider-Man 2 was budgeted at $270 million, with a cost overrun taking it to around $300 million. And the thing is, they expect that to go up. Part of the leaks included slides from what appeared to be an internal postmortem where Ted Price, Insomniac CEO, had disturbing things to say, worrying things to say for the health of the industry. One slide read, "We have to make future AAA franchise games for $350 million or less." But worse, it continued saying this. In today's dollars, that's like making Spider-Man 2 for $215 million. Yeah, inflation's rough. Of course, it cost $300, so pretty disturbing. And assuming that these targets won't happen and they're talking about $350, well, I think we're going to get close to $400 million. I mean, there's a slide that projected $385 million for Spider-Man 3 and $305 million for Wolverine. So even with $120 million a game being chipped in from Marvel, those numbers are insane. Spider-Man 1 took 2 years and $100 million to develop. Peanuts compared to its sequel, and part of the leaked slide is just a brutal line that says, "Is 3x the investment in Spider-Man 2 evident to anyone who plays the game?"
No. The answer is no. Well, whatever. That was Billiard News. Yeah, well, so Sony's fun times. What can I say? Bye.